then here, got my coffee. I'm in the shop, and I gotta finish doing what I started last night. Well, actually, I started yesterday. I have to, excuse me, finish filling the back tires. This one is done. It's already been off the tractor. I had filled it. I emptied out 4 gallons of antifreeze, and I laid it down, put in 4 gallons of the antifreeze that I let out was the marine stuff, the pink stuff, which I really don't trust, to be honest with you. It was in there last year, and I started hearing ice in there. And not only that, there isn't a whole lot of lubricants in that stuff. So anyway, I wanted to get some pure antifreeze mixed in with it, so I put 4 gallons of regular straight strength antifreeze in there. Now the difference is that antifreeze is kind of somewhat polluted, but I have no holes in the tires anymore, and I don't plan on having any more holes in the tires, seeing that I'm not knocking down outbuildings anymore. So I don't see any problems at this point. And if it does leak, it doesn't leak out all at once. It comes out in dribs and drabs, so it's not going to do a whole lot. This one here, it's done. I left it overnight, and what you have to do is you have to keep lifting and changing and stepping on the tire and the pieces of wood so I can prop it a little bit, because you have to get it so that it'll burp every now and then, so the antifreeze will drip down inside. Because it takes a while. You know, it could take a couple hours per tire to get it done. So that one weighs in 148 pounds. I got to weigh this one in. I'm full, so it's got to be close to the same. And if it isn't, well, if it's off by a couple pounds, that's one thing. But if it's off by a critical amount, you know, then I gotta do something. So because they got to be as close as possible. Otherwise, it would actually flip the tractor. You know, when you're putting weight on it, especially if you're starting to roll along and you got weight in the bucket, or if you're doing some digging with the backhoe, I mean, anything, because if one tire is lower, is softer, it's not going to hold, and the tractor's going to give. These things flip easy. You know, people think, oh, it's a tractor. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a tractor, all right. So, but I'm also putting 2.5 inch wheel spacers on all 4 wheels. Not so much to broaden the step, but to make room for the chains. Because when you have the backhoe on it, and the structure that's bolted to the frame of the tractor does not remove when you take the backhoe off. It's just taking off the backhoe with the stanchions, the outriggers. So what happens is the chains will start hitting the frame. So I have to put wheel spacers in there. So that'll help balance it a little bit. I was going to put 4 inch. However, I measured my trailer, and if I put 4 inch, I'm an inch short from getting on the trailer. So I says, you know what, the next ones were 2.5. I can go in betweens, but then they start charging you for custom cuts and all this kind of crap. So I says, you know what, 2.5 inches fine. It'll give me 5 inch spread, 2 on each wheel. Gives me plenty of clearance to get the chains on, and I'm doing both front and rear, so that's it. I was hoping that they would be here in time, but I got an email saying that from UPS saying that they're coming here on the 4th of December. Well, we've been pretty lucky with weather, so I wanted to get this part done, because if it's blizzarding out here, I don't want to have to stand out here for 4 or 6 hours doing what I'm doing now. All right, you know, when I can get it done when it's nice out. Worst comes to worst, I'm going to have to take the tire off, you know, one by one to put the spacer on, but that's a lot easier than taking the tire off. I didn't have to stand and nurse it and burp it to get it filled, and then to get it back on again. So I thought, you know, let me get the worst of it out of the way, and that's what I had done. So that's where we're at. So that tire's full. I'm going to disconnect the feed tube and put the valve stem back in it, and at that point we're all set. And I'm going to step on it a few more times just to make sure that, you know, it's full. No more burps, no more air, and do what I have to do. So, all right, guys. So anyway, I gotta have my coffee. It's early in the morning for me, and coffee just hasn't been the same lately for some reason. I have no idea why. You know, the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've been drinking tea. And hot chocolate, I don't know, the coffee just hasn't got the taste. And it's a coffee that I've been using, or we've been using now for the last couple of years. If you ask me what the name of it is, I couldn't tell you. What's up, Nikki? How's my buddy? Am I not talking to you? But for some reason, the coffee just isn't doing it. And I'm up early this morning for me. It's about, I don't know, it's about 8:30, 9 o'clock or so in the morning. And I know a lot of you guys say early. Well, for me it's early. The only time I'm up early is, is when there's classes. Because I have to be there for 7 to set up for the class. So, I'm up at like 5:30 in the morning. But, however, I get up at 5:30 every morning because I open the kennel door. See, the boys can always get out of the house into the kennel area. And the kennel area, I'm sure you've seen it, it's about 35, 40 feet long by about 15, 18 feet wide. And it's also got a dog house and everything on it. And the dog house can hold a couple of them. It's got a little front porch on it with an overhang, and the couple lay there. So, they can get out of the elements if they want to go out there and lay out. But they go out there, through the course of the night to do what they have to do, or if they want a little fresh air, or if they hear a little noise around the yard, they'll go out and make themselves known, which is good. But I get up at 5 o'clock, and I'll open the kennel gate, so that means they can get not only in and out of the house, but they can also get in and out of the yard, and they can do what they got to do. So, and that's basically what happens there. So, I'm up at 5 in the morning, and then I have a corn muffin, or an English muffin, and I'll have maybe a half a cup of coffee, if that, and then I go back to sleep until 10:30 or so. Sometimes even 11. So, but at that point, the summertime's a little different because I get up and out a lot earlier and I'm out in the yard doing more. But as the weather starts to chill, I sleep in. I've got really nothing to do or anything, so it's not a big deal. So, however, now we're here, and I'm trying to drink my coffee and get myself awoke so I can get my strength up to go out there and get that 150-pound tire, or 148-pound tire, first on the scale to make sure it's close, and then on the tractor. So, alright guys, I've bored you enough with tractor stories. I may bore you with the antifreeze stories in the future. So, or some stupid stories that boaters do. When I was more or less retired, I never retired. Even though I'm retired, I'm not retired. I'm really not collecting a pension, so to speak. But when I semi-retired, if that's what you want to call it, owning a boat, the wife and I lived on the boat for 4 years, winter and summer, right up here in Connecticut. And it was actually enjoyable. If it wasn't for the back surgery, I'd probably still be on the boat. It wasn't a monster, but it wasn't small. It was 45 foot. It had a 16-foot beam. It had the forward berth, had the aft cabins. We had television, satellite, we had all that stuff. But I'll get into that another day. Catch you later.